how to react when you're hurt. Now, this is when boxing knowledge, boxing know-how makes a massive difference. We're going to look at two boxers. We're going to look at Amir Khan and we're going to look at Floyd Mayweather. And we're going to see how they both reacted when they were hurt, and then you're going to see the final outcome of the fight. And you're going to see that sometimes you're not knocked out because you're chinny. You're knocked out because you haven't got the correct know-how. So really, let's look at Amir Khan. When he's hurt, straight away he gets hit and he's hurt. He's not usually knocked out instantly. He's hurt and then he's beat down. He makes wrong decisions and then eventually gets stopped. Now, this isn't someone who's chinny. This is someone with poor boxing know-how. Straight away, you see him make arm when he's hit and he's rocked. He sees red. He's like, come on, let's have it, let's have it. Sometimes you even see him gesture towards the opponent. Come on, come on. He sees red and he starts firing punches back. If not, sometimes he thinks smart. Well, he thinks he's being smart and he tries to create gap. Because the further you are from the opponent, the harder it is for you to hit them. The only problem is that when you're rocked, when you're dazed, your coordination is off. It's not the same. So when you're moving away and you're trying to create distance, trying to create gap, your opponent is going to find it easier to wing in the looping shot because you're going to find it harder to defend that shot because your coordination and your balance is a bit messed up. That's how Amir Khan usually reacts. And when he's hurt, he stops. Now, when we look at the contrast, when we look at Floyd Mayweather, he's got brilliant defense. You don't usually even see him hit hard. But when we have seen him hit hard, he has been rocked, which kind of suggests that maybe his chin isn't actually as solid as his fights lead you to believe. Because every time he's hit hard, he's rocked. Now, let's look at Shane Mosley. Mayweather was rocked by Shane Mosley with a vicious shot. But Mayweather actually ended up winning the fight despite the fact that he was rocked. But how did he react? His boxing know-how saw him to victory. Mayweather was rocked. The first thing he did was hold on to Shane Mosley for dear life. I remember the referee was Kenny Bayless. It was like, break. And Mayweather just held on. He couldn't let go. Because he knew if he let go, he likely would be stopped. Second thing Mayweather did straight away. We went from the Philly shell to a double guard. Double guard making it harder for his opponent to find the gap in him. And he pressed forward. He sat on Shane Mosley's chest. The reason being because the closer you are to the opponent, the harder it is to generate force. They can't generate power. It's harder for them. And it's harder for them. So he lengthened on him, pressed on him, and closed the gap. He smothered his work. He smothered Shane Mosley's work. When Shane Mosley tried to punch, it was very hard for him to get a good, meaningful shot in because his work was being smothered by Mayweather. And Mayweather did this until he fully regained consciousness. And then he started countering. He started attacking, but down the pipe, straight down the pipe. Unlike Amir Khan, who then started trading with Danny Garcia, for example. They just went blow for blow. The luckier man is going to land first. So when we look at Amir Khan, his approach, usually he ends up being knocked out or being stopped, like he did against Danny Garcia. He done all these things I'm stating here against Danny Garcia, and he was stopped. Not instantly, a couple of rounds later, which means his chin wasn't the fault. It was his boxing know-how. And then when he look at Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Shane Mosley, he was rocked. Twice, I believe. He was rocked twice against Shane Mosley, and he kept going to the correct tactics to make him survive, and it ended up taking over the fight and winning all points. So when you're hurt, I want you to practice, firstly, being in a very tight guard. If your opponent can't see it, then they can't hit it. After you're in a tight guard, I want you to step forward and smother the work. When you step forward, you give them less space to generate power, but you can also smother the work. You can hold them, you can clench, you can lean on them. But when you give them gap, you give them space by dancing around the ring, which is what we usually told the young boxers and the amateurs, dance around and give them room. You're actually giving them more potential momentum to turn and whip on a shot. So what you're going to do is you're going to have tag guards, you're going to smother your opponent, and when you do feel ready to punch back, you're going to come direct. You're tight, and you're going to come direct with fast, sneaky shots. So let's watch from where Amir Khan was first knocked down by Danny Garcia, and he immediately gets up, which people advise that is wrong. You should just settle down for a bit first. Look, he's still wobbling as he got up. Now let's watch and see what Amir Khan immediately does. Okay, Kenny Bayless lets him continue. Look, Danny Garcia charged towards him. He does double guard and smothers. That's perfect. But then he pushes him away. He's pushing him away and he's swinging back. So this is within 10 seconds of him being knocked down, he's punching back already. Now, just what I was saying, it's the beginning of the 4th round, and he's tried to create a gap, a distance between him and Danny Garcia. And look, Danny Garcia was able to wind up and smash him back to the ground. So that's the second count now. Second count. Let's see what Amir Khan does now. Danny Garcia attacks. Look, Amir Khan's trying to create a gap between him and Danny Garcia, which allows Danny to really wind up and smash him. Look at that. He's winding up and he's smashing him. Instead of smothering him, Amir Khan's trying to create a gap. Now he's punching back. He's not even fully, his legs aren't beneath him and he's punching back. Now this is all incorrect. You don't want to do none of this. He's firing back, throwing punches, they're just exchanging punches. But Amir Khan's getting the worst of it. Look at that big counter. Boosh. Now this is not what you want to be doing. And this is the reason why Amir Khan is stopped. You can't watch this and say Amir Khan has a bad chin and that's why it's stopped. It's all to do with your know-how. He's exchanging and receiving big punches, but also being damaged. Most fighters would have been knocked out already, but Amir Khan has tremendous fitness and tremendous heart, and that's the only reason why he wasn't stopped here. So a lot sooner. We're going to get on to the final knockdown that stopped the fight. Just that, the big hook at the top of the head. And that's how Amir Khan was stopped. Not to do with his chin, but to do with his boxing know-how. He had the incorrect know-how. Now in contrast, we look at Floyd Mayweather, who seemed to have, everyone says he has a great chin, but is it the great chin he has, or does he have great boxing know-how, great boxing expertise? Look, boom, he's rugged by Mosley. Look, he's holding on. Kenny Bayless is screaming, let go, break, break. He doesn't. Look, does he even throw a punch back? He hasn't thrown a punch back yet. Just pure defense. Smothering him, staying as close as he can, tying him up. Look at that. Little sneaky shot inside when he knows he can't be caught clean. Just pure smothering. Double guard. No longer in the Philly show. Double guard. Putting pressure on Mosley. Popping back straight shots. Direct shots down the pipe. Just like that. The closer he is to Mosley, the less power Mosley can get on the punches. Just leaning in. And in this time period, Mayweather is fully recovering. He's recovering fully. But look, he's hurt again. He's rocked again because the punch gets through. So you saw Amir Khan, he was rocked with multiple punches. And he wasn't really hurt again. But Mayweather was. Which means Amir Khan could have a better chin than even Mayweather. But his know-how is just very poor. And Mayweather's know-how is God level. Look at that, he's punching back, but only with direct straight punches. Mainly he's smothering and using a double guard. And this is what Mayweather does for the entirety of the fight. Well, of the entirety of these early rounds. Until he recovers. He just pressurizes him by smothering him, double guard, and attacks directly. And Mayweather did this until we took over the fight. And when he did take over the fight, he never let go. And he won the fight on points. So when you're rocked, when you're hurt, instead of creating distance, you need to smother your opponent like you can see Mayweather do now, and attack direct, straight down the pipe, just like Floyd Mayweather. Defense first, then offense.